Helen here with Eyes on the Game, and I'm here at UFC Performance Institute, here being joined by UFC welterweight and middleweight title contender Kelvin Gastelum. Now, you are preparing for a huge fight against the former champion Chris Weidman on July 22nd in New York. How is the training going, and especially here at the Performance Institute?
Yeah, good to see you again, Miss Helen. Yeah, I remember last year, this time you were interviewing me for my fight against Hendricks. So,
I know, yeah.
now we're here interviewing for Chris Weidman, which is a good fight, and I'm looking forward to it. 3 weeks away. I'm finishing camp here in Vegas at the UFC Institute, and man, I'm feeling great. You know, these last few days that I've been here, these people have been more than helpful, more accommodating, and just helping me with my performance, which is really going to show on fight day.
Now, looking at an opponent and former champion like Chris Weidman, I mean, obviously, you know, he has a few inches on you, like as far as height, a bit taller, but he's kind of like you. Well, he's well-rounded, you know, good wrestler, good striking. But what kind of like advantages do you think you have over him, despite his losses the past few fights?
Right, he's very well-rounded, former champion, and I have a lot of respect for him, for his skill set, and for him as a person. You know, he's a great guy, and we've always gotten along well throughout these years. But I think his skill set is just perfect. It plays perfect into mine, because I'm going to be a little bit more faster. You know, he's a big true middleweight, and he's not as fast, I think. You know, and I'm coming up from welterweight. I feel like I'm going to have the speed advantage and the footwork advantage.
And is there anyone in particular that's helping you prepare for Chris right now?
Well, I got my whole team who's been helping me. I've been preparing these last few months with Giga Chikadze, who fights in Glory. He's the #1 featherweight, ranked featherweight in the world, and he's been helping me out with my striking. And then I've been working with Mark Munoz, who also fought Chris, and then been working with my teammates here at the UFC Institute. I got Verdum here. I got Leo Mafra, who also fought in the UFC, and I got a couple other guys that we brought from California.
And now, looking at him, like I just mentioned, his past 3 fights, he has been stopped in all of them. Do you think he's, you know, kind of going downhill in a way, or do you think like he's still as sharp as when he fought Anderson?
You know what? To be honest, all that is irrelevant to me, because I'm not even looking at Chris Weidman or who he is. It doesn't matter who's in front of me. My end goal is to win and to earn a title shot, no matter who's in front of me. It could be anybody, you know, and you know, this fight for me is much more bigger than just a W, you know, and it means a lot more, because I feel like I'm fighting for more than just a win. You know, there's a lot of personal reasons why I'm fighting, and it's much more bigger than I am. So Chris Weidman, to me, like, I'm sorry to say, but it's irrelevant. He's out of the question. I'm just gonna go in there and perform like I did in Brazil.
And you've been looking great in middleweight, doing very well against Vitor, Tim Kennedy, just to name a few. Do you think you will be staying in this weight class a bit longer, even though, like you said, I mean, a win over the former champion like Chris can catapult you into that title contention?
Yeah. You know, we'll see what happens after this fight. After this fight, I want to see if I can get a #1 contender fight or even a title shot. But eventually, I still have my eyes set on that welterweight title, for sure.
And a possibility could even be 2-division champion?
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, people have, you know, I mean, it's becoming a trend now, you know, but I feel like I can be one of those guys that can make it happen.
And something that almost happened, though, just last month. I know you were scheduled to fight at UFC 212 against Anderson Silva. How devastating was that? You know, just everything that happened and the situation after the Belfort fight.
Yeah, I was pretty depressed after that. You know, I remember just being in my house for like 2 weeks in my cave, you know, just not wanting to know anything from anybody for like 2 weeks. I was depressed, but then I didn't allow myself to stay in that state of mind, you know, because it was a pretty devastating blow. You know, I mean, the news affected much more than just my fight, and this opportunity affected my personal life. It affected a lot of other things in my life that people don't even know, you know. And but at the same time, I feel like things happen for a reason, you know, and yeah, I feel like things happen for a reason, and things have played out well since then.
Yeah, well, another huge fight and opportunity coming up. And what did you learn from that situation, though?
Yeah, I mean, just be careful with your choices, you know, just making better choices. You know, we are the product of our choices, and every day you have choices, you know, whether you're good or bad. There's consequences to each and every choice. So it's just making better choices.